Hey, Jason, good morning on this very last day of the year. How are you doing today?
I can't believe it's been yet another year, Kathy. I'm so excited that I wanted to make sure I dressed up in my best duds for the day and be ready to come here and hang out with you and talk about transportation. One of the
Yes,
our favorite time of the week. So yes,
absolutely. Yes, you and your
welcome.
day glow yellow. I love it. I'm going to have to see if I can't get myself a matching outfit so we can do a show with matching outfits next year. We'll
Yeah,
see.
yeah, definitely.
Goals for 2022.
That's a great goal out there. A lot of my fellow Duck fans out there might actually would rather call this lightning yellow. But yes,
Okay.
it's got to be. If my boss is watching, sorry, man. These colors are a little different. But anyhow, point is, Kathy, I am so excited to be here with you and yes, being the end of the year. And, I mean, gosh, at midnight 01, it is going to turn to 2022.
I
And I
can't even
cannot
believe it.
believe,
That's just such a weird number that's our
yeah,
year. Yep.
it is. It is, and I tell you, Kathy, looking back, because during this time of year, there's a lot of reflection. I don't know if you the same in some ways, but with me, I mean, I like to sit back and kind of think about where I've come through this year. What have I
Mm-hmm.
learned? What are some of the
Mm-hmm.
challenges that I went through and experiences and so forth? And then, of course, we can talk about all the big experiences and COVID and all the things that we've had to do working from home or all these negatives sometimes turn into positives. And I tell
Sure.
you, one of the biggest positives of this show and getting a chance to speak to you on a weekly basis this way, but really getting out there and together, getting people interested, hopefully, about transit, bringing information to them. So I'm so excited to talk about that today.
Yes. I mean, I think you hit the nail right on the head there with the turning the things that could be traumatic and really negatively impactful
Right.
situations into learning experiences that we can get something positive out of. And so I agree. I am grateful for, this show, especially that we've been able to
Right.
develop out of, what was a pandemic that was keeping us all at home and isolated. And this is a great way to get out there and do
Yep.
outreach when you can't physically get out there. And so
Sure.
I love it. And I really hope that people will continue to pass on these videos, continue to interact with us. That
Yes.
comment section, if you ask us a question a year after we've done the show, we will still answer you. We will still get back to you. That is what we want these videos to be. We want them to be relevant all the time. And so
Absolutely.
next year, when you're reflecting on, gosh, what was last year like, you can go right back into this video and
That's
go
right.
over what we talked about over the last year. And, people can think and say that top 10, top 5, top whatever lists at the end of the year are cliche. But, when you're reflecting on things, it's just kind of a natural thing that happens. So, listening audience, we did it too. We've done it too. We've made a list.
Yeah, absolutely, Kathy. And yeah, looking back and trying to figure out, we have talked about a multitude of things, right?
Mhm,
We've
mhm.
had roughly 52 weeks of
A lot.
discussion. Yeah, just a lot, right? Exactly. And there have been a lot of exciting guests that we've had on. We've talked about a lot of exciting things. The picture up there that you may see right now, you see where I first got my indigo glowing high vis stuff there. You can
Mhm.
see you over there in the top left there where you had a little bit of snow there before we
It
got
was our
snow, and
teaser of snow.
it
But
was
we
our
we talked
teaser of snow.
about, snow subjects
Yeah,
right before we got hit with it. So people would be
absolutely.
prepared.
Yes, yes. So, this collage here of pictures, I hope, Kathy, brings up some memories for you, and it does bring up memories, warm memories for me. As we endeavor to kind of reflect on what we talked about. And yes, we did work on and come up with what we thought were some of the best or most exciting top 5 discussion topics that we've had throughout the year. And I don't
The
know.
big
Let's go ahead and move
takeaways,
forward.
the big
The big
takeaways.
takeaways.
Yep.
Exactly. I will have to change this graphic at some point because it's a little incorrect. There is a microphone there, and that's like a radio talk show microphone. I have to make sure that we come up with something with maybe video and stuff. But actually, that still doesn't look too bad.
Yeah, no, that's
maybe if somebody's got a better idea, please let me know. Okay. Oh, and by the way, too, I really hope you come back with that background. I really like that cartoon background that you got there.
Which
the down at the bottom there, the one that's at like an angle.
The one with the roads going all the different directions?
Yes.
I can do that.
Yes.
I can do that.
Yes, that will be a blast. So moving on, yes, to our transportation talk. Top 5 items discussed from 2021, Kathy. One of the things that we're going to talk about here in a little bit is learning our local public transportation. That's one thing that's really important. It's understanding how to get out there and get what you need in your life done by using public transit. It's possible, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yes, it is. And, even though we're a rural area, we have pretty darn excellent public transportation. And that goes for Columbia, Tillamook, and Clatsop counties. I mean, we're rural and people don't expect it, but we do have a public transportation system. And I like to say that as often as possible, because I know every time I say it, there's still people that are like, really, we do in our area? And so I like to make sure that I'm pointing that out as often as possible.
Absolutely. Love having that. And, as part of, that transit district, we talk a lot about helping our drivers or our bus operators see us. And so we're going to also talk a little bit about one of the other topics that was big in the year was being bright by being seen. It was so big that I actually had to go out and buy myself some high-vis gear so I could show people what we're talking about. In fact, I look forward to, you getting your own high-vis and really finding creative ways that we can bring to the public what we're talking about. Right?
Well, the purple is kind of fading out of my hair. Maybe I need to see if there's retroreflective, dye I could have my hair dyed with. I don't know. I don't think that's a thing yet.
I don't know, but maybe you could make it a thing, and then maybe we could make that part of a live show. I don't know. That's just my thought. That would be awesome. But we do see a cyclist right here, and he's riding his bike in the rain, and thankfully he does have a jersey that is high vis and that people can see. As Kathy, you had some problems with that around here earlier, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. We're going to talk about what it means if you have an important issue, right, Kathy? If you have an issue that you want to talk about, if you have an issue that you feel is really close to your heart, near and dear to you, that represents something in your community, whatever it may be, like the bus doesn't come by you and you really feel that that's incredibly important for it to come by you. Well, you have to make that heard. That's a challenge to you, right? So we're going to talk a little bit about what it means to be a public transit advocate, right? Yes, right on. And so we'll also move on to another topic about routines and challenges, Kathy. And I think we're going to have a whole lot of fun in talking about some of the ways that we deal with how we use fixed route public transportation. And one of the ways that we do that is through creating routines and through learning that routine, but also being willing to take a look at a challenge, something that might be harder than what your routine is, and moving forward in that way and actually in that way, you'll learn later, does help you learn your transit district even a little bit better.
Yes, absolutely. It is just so important that you get in a habit and you get comfortable with where you are and how to get around, but also that you take any opportunity during the year, especially, and we'll talk about this in a second, to kind of challenge yourself. That's the perfect word, Jason. I love it.
Yeah, right. And then of course, Kathy, really exciting to my, is Yes You Can. We just recently did a video that's called the Yes You Can campaign. It's paying dividends right now. We have people that do call and contact me based off of watching the video, and we'll talk a little bit more about, Yes You Can. We'll even watch the video again. It's to show you there are a lot of things that public transportation can do for you that if you ask the question, can I do blank? on public transit? Yes, you can. We want you to know that you can do just about anything you need to do, get to where you need to go through using public transit.
Absolutely. It's just, again, I'll just say that even though we're rural, we've got a great public transit system. And so
Yep,
if you want to ride your bike part of the way and then take the bus, yes, you can. If you don't
absolutely.
know how to get someplace and you need help, the drivers are there to help you. So yes, you
Absolutely.
can ride the bus, even if you've never done it before in your life.
Yep. It's exciting. So, Kathy, I think what we need to do now is talk about let's just talk about really what's one of the first steps, and we've talked about this throughout the year. I think we've talked about this, maybe not the most, but definitely it's a topic that we do discuss from time to time, and we always make it a point out of those weeks to maybe even have just one show dedicated to travel training, and really at the head of that travel training bit is to understand that you need to research your local transportation, wherever you're at. You need to research that local transportation option, or that district, or that transportation agency, and ultimately not to be afraid to reach out and ask them for help, right?
Right. I mean, there's all kinds of tools. If you have a smartphone, you've got the big old search engine in the sky, whichever one you choose to use, and you just type in where you're going and the words public transit or bus. And, you might be surprised. And if you type in bus, but there's other options, those might come up or might not. So public transit or transportation is a good thing to throw in there. The other thing to look at is whatever apps you have on your phone already that you use for getting around in our area might actually be the apps that they use in the area that you're going to as well. So look up those different cities, towns, wherever you're heading, and maybe their system will show up and it'll be already in your hand, already there and ready to go. And what you were saying about, don't be afraid to pick up the phone. I think that is super important, because regardless of where you go, there are people behind those systems and people that will be there that can answer your questions and can help you get to where you need to go or where you want to go.
Absolutely. I just had an experience trying to help out an individual who needed transportation, even, there's still people that still need transportation, even during our wintry conditions, and they needed help. And so by working with them and helping them get to where they need to go, they were so appreciative of the fact that they were able to contact a person. Listen, we live in a world now where automation seems to be the way we're going to go. And I'm sure there are beautiful and wonderful advantages to what automation can do for us, down the road and so forth. But still, there's still that need to be able to reach out and connect with someone who's on the ground and locally can have a discussion with you about things. I was able to discuss literally, what the ground was like, in a particular area, because I had information on what the ground was like, how icy it was, whether or not it was soft snow, compacted snow, whether or not our buses, even on the snow routes. And by the way, Kathy, props to our bus drivers and to bus drivers across the country who drive in this stuff. They are true professionals. They get out and get the job done. And even if they have to go on snow routes, they still are able to do as much as they possibly can and help the community in such a great way.
Absolutely, because, riding the bus and having those buses out there is a lifeline for so many people. And so we don't take that lightly. Jason and I both take our job seriously, because we know how important being able to get to where you want to go to is. And so, for some people, it's just a recreational outing that is important, but that could be that's a mental health thing. And other people, it's grocery stores or medical, visits. All of those things are just as important. And so we take getting to where you want to go seriously.
Yeah. And I'm so thankful that, you and I are able to work together in bringing that information to people, even not only through the show, but there have been times throughout the year where you and I have, collaborated on helping of an individual or coming up with a plan for someone. And again, that was just that option that person needed help with, and they were able to get through and speak to somebody on the other end of the line. And I can tell you, you spoke to mental health. that is one of the biggest things that help individuals mentally, when they can get through to somebody and they can have a discussion with someone in regards to whether or not they have a challenge or a concern they need to convey to you, or they just need to know whether or not the Route 10 is still driving around or
Right.
not. So
Right. Yeah.
it helps out so much.
Yep. Super
So
important.
moving on, Kathy, you saved the day when we came up with these top 5 things. I can't believe it. And I'm going to say right now, I am going to admit, because those of you that are watching know, I mean, look, I even bought stuff just to represent being highly visible. I didn't have this anywhere on my top 5 list. And
Mr.
Kathy,
Flashlight did not
Yes.
have this on his list. I can't
That's right.
believe it.
And it wasn't there. So I made sure to really put this up here. Be bright, Kathy, be seen out there. I can tell you that even, I mean, it never hurts. You work in this field. You know what I am talking about, and you know better, right?
Yes.
But it never hurts. It never hurts. I proved it by forgetting.
Right. Right.
And it never hurts to just throw it out to anybody. Hey, don't forget to be bright, be seen out there, be safe. And always wear reflective gear if you can, please.
Right.
You should, at the very least, you should carry a flashlight, even right down to your cell phone. Your cell phone has a light on it in most cases, or even just there's a flashlight app that you can get that shows just even your screen just turns all white. That
right.
Anything out there is better than nothing. But I do ask you all out there, please be safe.
And I am waiting for the day that they make all outerwear with at least one retroreflective stripe on it. All outerwear. There's no reason why in this day and age we couldn't have, retroreflective trim or one stripe or something on a seam, a zipper pull, the zipper be retroreflective.
Well, Kathy, I used to ride motorcycles, and quite frankly, I wish I still could, but right now I'm not. But when I was riding motorcycles, they have such a wonderful, great items, just like what you were talking about. It's called reflective piping that they actually put on the garments. And the cool thing is, because, well, let's admit it, a lot of people that ride motorcycles ride it to look cool, so they don't want to be wearing all the high vis stuff. But the retro-reflective piping actually is the same color as the garment. It can be black.
Right. And then until the light hits it.
Until the light hits it, and then it just brightens up. And so, yes, please make sure that everyone is as safe as they possibly can. And I'm telling you what, Kathy, I think throughout the rest of this next year is going to be my goal, is to change my attire a little bit and start showing those kind of practical examples to people as we are on our show here. So look at that. Remember, maybe this is a little flashback to seeing the difference. You can see the difference here.
We did a whole show on this.
We did a whole show on this. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And you can see right here, before you couldn't see anybody, but that same person now threw on a vest, and now you can see. All right. So it's important. There is a difference out there.
Right.
Our bus drivers, we're showing a video right here, we have to be bright. We have to show something while we're out there. As you can tell, there's a lot of signage that's very reflective, and they have to be for a reason. Well, so do you. If you're out walking around, this is probably what an average driver of a vehicle would see, or our commercial drivers that are driving our buses around, or log trucks around here. That's not a really great view.
No, and I would say that both of those videos look like they were shot when there wasn't rain, and so you throw rain into the whole formula there, and it's a whole nother story there.
Absolutely, as you can tell down there, it's very blurry, and that's those of us who have good windshield wipers. Let's be honest, most people don't. So, those windshield wipers are streaky, and they get stuck sometimes, and
I
it's
feel
hard
like
to
they wear
see.
out faster these days than they used to. So,
sure
if
like
you're
it,
not staying on top of that, your windshield wiper isn't as being as effective as it was,
Absolutely.
6 months ago when you put it on.
We bring the cyclist back here because this is where I want to kind of jump into this really briefly. Look, you can kind of see how the car light behind them is kind of shadowing them out and stuff. But I think it's just really important, cyclists. And I've talked about this a lot, especially in the recent weeks. Make sure you're wearing retroreflective gear. It's a must. Okay. In order to be safe, you have to wear it. You have to do this. Okay. I implore you to do it. And I really am. I'm imploring you to do this. I'm a cyclist myself. I want to make sure that I'm as safe as I possibly can. I want to
Yeah.
get back to my family.
And Jason, unfortunately, the sad reality is that our community has recently lost a member to a
Mhm.
bicycle accident. And
Yep.
part of a contributing factor may have been that he didn't have a bike light and he didn't have reflective clothing on. He was
Mhm.
wearing dark clothing, and sadly, he's no longer with us. And so
Yeah,
I just want to add on this point that not only do we think and do we say that having a light is important, if you are out there and you ride your bike or you're walking or you're using a mobility device and you don't have a light on your device, please contact us. Please reach out to us. We don't
yep.
have, you know, the end all best answer, but we do have some lights, and we would be happy
Mhm.
to get you that light that will get you to the next best thing. And so
Absolutely.
we really believe in this wearing bright clothing and having a light for your bicycle. So please
Yeah,
contact us, please reach out, and we'll be happy to coordinate getting you a bike light.
because not having a bike light, you know, really, it's not just something you can push off down the road a little bit. It needs to
Mhm,
be done now. So make
mhm.
sure you're safe. Make sure you can be seen now, not tomorrow, but now. Okay, please do it. This other video here too shows an example. We just went through quite a bit of snow, more snow we've had in quite some time here on the coast. And it's important to know that when we are driving, if we have to drive, if we have to leave our homes to drive our vehicles in this weather, we have a lot more to worry about while we're driving, right, Kathy? We have to worry about slick conditions. We have to worry about
Mhm.
throttle pressure, whether or not we're going to be braking hard. We have to be looking out for the other driver much more often. So there's so many more things that are
Well,
going through our mind. We don't see people.
and I would say that the whole don't go out there unless you really have to really doesn't just apply to drivers. It applies
Yes.
to everybody, because
Yep.
walking in slick conditions can also be hazardous. And so
Absolutely.
it's hazardous for you, it's hazardous for drivers, and we just want to reduce the amount of risks that everybody has to deal with in their lives. And so if you have to go out there, be prepared and help each other out as much as possible.
I was coming into work or driving in the other day, and I saw someone that was playing, they were snowball fighting, which is awesome, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they slipped. They weren't too far away from the road. I mean, if they would have been just out a little bit further and slipped, they would have caused, at the very least, a major confusion for the driver that was oncoming, which would have been me. I would have, thankfully, I was
Mm-hmm.
very much respectful of the situation. I saw them doing that. I slowed way down. So even if I
Mm-hmm.
had to stop, it wouldn't have been sliding too far and so forth. But man, yes, be careful. Slipping and playing or walking on the side of the road during these kind of icy conditions that we just recently had, it's not just a bad idea. It could be life-threatening. So be
Right.
careful. Okay, Kathy, get in routine. All right. 2022, your
Mm-hmm.
New Year's resolution is to get into a routine, but also at the same time is to not be afraid to test your abilities of riding public transportation.
Right.
Okay.
Challenge yourself. And I would say, for me, it's not just challenging yourself to ride public transportation, but to get around without using your car.
Great
So
point. Mm-hmm.
how can you get around without using your car? And, look around and see what your options might be, because sometimes it's just that we didn't take the time to think
Yep.
about that there are other options other than jumping in your car.
Yes. I remember when we actually dedicated, I think, a few shows to travel training type topics. And
Mm-hmm.
really, as whatever transportation option that you are choosing to use, it is important to have that routine, right? You need,
Mm-hmm.
it's important. What time do you need to get up in the morning? What
Mm-hmm.
time? I mean, literally getting up,
Mm-hmm.
getting dressed, taking a shower. You have to, whatever your routine may be, you have to develop that routine so that you know that you'll be on time. Nobody likes to
Right.
rush. Nobody wants to
Mm-mm.
miss the bus or miss their carpool, right? Or have to
Mm-mm.
hop on their bicycle even and tear through as fast as they can on their bicycle because they're running late. have a routine, learn your route. Even, you know what, if you're not on public transit, you have a route. When I drive my
Right,
car
sure.
or when I ride my bicycle, I have a route. So
Hmm.
learn that route and understand it. Be ready to go, right? Want to
Right.
be ready to go.
Well, I mean, and
Um,
I think to me, part of that learning your route is learning how you normally get there, but also what your other
yeah,
options are. In a
absolutely. Hmm.
perfect time of year, if you haven't done it by October, to challenge yourself to try and get around in a different way than you usually do, a perfect opportunity is the annual Get There Challenge. And so during that time, maybe you try a carpool. Maybe you try public transportation. Maybe you try walking part of the way or telecommuting for the
Yep.
week. Just push that box just a little bit.
Oh, wait, so this doesn't include or require a bucket full of ice and water?
No, no, no bucket challenge. No ice bucket challenge. That's not what
Okay.
I'm saying. I mean, if that's your thing, go for it. But I'd rather stay warm and dry, especially this time of
Okay.
year. Thanks.
Well, maybe that wasn't the challenge that I needed to bring up. But one thing I do want to say is once you get your routine and you're ready to go and stuff, I would advise, and I'm pretty certain, Kathy, you might agree with me on this one, is to get out there and kind of expand your ability a little bit. Take some time off if you've got a day off or whatever, and hop on whatever form of transportation that you're using. Hopefully it's a public transportation in some ways, or riding your bicycle, but really explore your community in that way. Really kind of get out there. I like to say, when I was learning this job, I went out to other neighboring transportation districts, and I just got lost. I
Hmm.
spent a whole day. I didn't have anything else to worry about, and I
Hmm.
just got on there. I had a map, and in some cases I had an app with me, and
Hmm.
just really tried to learn my way through that. It was fun. It was engaging,
Sure.
definitely
Yep.
engaging. A little scary
Yep.
at times, but that was okay because I
Yeah.
ultimately made it back home.
Yep.
So
Good thing to
Kathy,
do.
we are moving on, and if you can believe it, we are running kind of close to our time. But you know what, though, I think we can go over a little bit, maybe just a little bit,
We'll
because this
see.
is a very important thing right here. We got a community. What does it mean to be a transit community advocate? I mean, you speak on this so well, Kathy, but really for me, it's just, I want people not to be afraid that if they have an issue or they have concerns regarding their local transportation or for any other reason, to
Hmm.
not be afraid to speak up in local meetings
Hmm.
or write that email to your constituencies. I mean, those are things
Hmm.
that we want you to be able to do. And
Hmm.
specifically for us, I'd like to say, hey, we're listening to you, right? That's what we're doing.
Absolutely. And I think it's so important to speak out when you see an issue,
Yep.
so that those around you are aware, but also to kind of think, to put yourself in
Yeah.
somebody else's shoes. So if you're
Hmm.
participating in a survey or a meeting, depending upon what they're asking for, if they're asking for your own personal experience, that's what they're asking for. But
Absolutely.
also, if they ask you for further feedback or other information, or if there's planning that's going on, if
Hmm.
your neighborhood there's something going on, and they're redoing the neighborhood or the streets or the school or whatever, think about how it would affect you if you didn't have a car.
Right.
How would you get there without a car? How do you make that an option, more of an option rather than an outlier? Why are things only planned for cars and for vehicle traffic? How about what happens if we encourage people to walk or bike or use a bus? How would you get
Yep.
there? How easy is it? And so those kinds of things are just so important, and it's important to speak out about that.
And we had a really good show a while back, right? With a
Hmm.
gentleman named Mr. Schonkweiler. Is that correct?
Hmm. Correct.
Yeah, and he was on, and we had that whole show is dedicated to how they go about doing those things, how they go about listening to what the community has to say, and so
And
forth, and
they
how
being ODOT, but we
they
also do
being
the same
ODOT,
thing.
yes,
Yeah. Hmm.
yes, right, and ODOT, and we do the same thing. So please understand that we're listening to you. We want to hear what you have to say. If you have any questions, of course, Kathy and I, we're here, but ultimately SETD itself is here for you as well too.
Hmm.
So remember also too, more people in groups really help out a lot. Kind of helps
Hmm.
elevate, amplify that voice of yours. And
And And
Yeah.
all the transportation districts have monthly meetings where, you know,
That's
if
right.
something came up or you see an opportunity for advancement, it's a great opportunity to
Yep.
speak at those meetings. And whether you do it in person, virtually, or via written comment, all of those things are important ways that you can interact with your local transportation district.
Yeah, go to their websites, whoever they are, and get more information on those meetings or call. Okay,
Mhm.
we're here to take your call and lead you to the right place.
Or ask us
And
right
so-
down there in those comments.
Right, or write down in the comments. We'll definitely get that out to you. So, Kathy, unbelievably, we are at the tail end of our show,
Mhm.
and I'm telling you, it is amazing how fast sometimes it goes. I look at the first quarter of the time that we do stuff, and I think, oh man, it's going to be a lot. I don't know if we'll have enough.
Mm.
But then as I get to the second half of everything, I realize, oh my gosh, we don't have enough, or we have, too much, excuse me. So,
Uh-huh.
but here we are. Last one. And
I love
was
this.
really happy.
I love
Yes, you can.
this. I love this note to go out of
Yep.
this year on, because it's a great way to go into the next year as well.
Yeah, let's go ahead and watch it.
Yeah. So inspiring. I just love this.
It's fun.
Can Astoria High School students secure transportation from school to their after-school events?
Yes, you can.
Yes, you
Can I
can.
reduce traffic congestion in my community by riding the bus?
Yes, you can.
Yes.
Can
Yes,
I get
you
to
can.
Portland from Seaside
Way to go,
using the
Mary.
Lower Columbia Connector? ¿Puedo ir de Seaside a Portland usando el Lower Columbia Connector?
Yes, you can.
Sí.
Sí, sí puedes.
Georgia high school students get to after-school functions using the bus.
That
Yeah.
would be fun.
Or
Yeah.
the library.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, the library.
Hey, Jason, I'm trying to get to Portland, and I have limited vision. Can I get some help riding the bus?
Yes, you can, Toby.
Can I get travel training on this bus?
Yes, you can. Get some travel training, everybody. Come on in.
Can I request a stop by pulling the cord?
Yes, you can.
Can I get to Columbia Memorial Hospital by riding the bus?
Yes, you
Yep.
can.
Can I still ride the bus if I ride my bicycle?
Absolutely. Have fun.
You can. Can I flag the bus down?
Yes, you can.
Yep.
Can I read a book on the bus?
Absolutely read a book.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Why, yes, you can.
Can I get to the Fisherman's Memorial from here riding the bus?
Yes, you can.
Hi, I'm a student. Can I ride the bus for free?
Come on, students.
Clatsop
you
County.
can.
Yes, you
Let's go.
can.
Can I
Come
take
on.
the bus today instead of the car to save some money?
Lots of it. Yes,
Yeah.
you can.
Yes.
Yes, you can.
Hey, there you are.
Can I get to my favorite vacation spots by bus? Durante mis vacaciones, ¿puedo usar el autobús para ir a distintos lugares? Yes, you can.
Sí.
tú puedes.
I'm a veteran. Can I get transportation to my local medical appointments?
Well, yes, you can.
Thank you for your service. Yeah.
Can
come
I
on
gain
by.
more independence by riding the bus?
Oh boy, can
Yes,
you?
you can. Can I get to work by riding the bus? ¿Puedo ir a mi trabajo en autobús? Yes, you can.
You can.
Sí,
Even
sí
in
puedes.
inclement weather.
Can I bring my service dog on the bus with me?
There we go.
Yes, you can. Can I use the lift to get on the bus?
Yes, you can.
Can I get to Tillamook using the connector service? ¿Puedo llegar hasta Tillamook usando el connector service? Yes, you can. Sí, tú puedes.
Hey, I have a
Yes,
temporary disability. Can I get a ride with paratransit?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, just give them a call, everybody.
I use a wheelchair. Can I ride the bus?
Yes, you can.
Can we birdwatch from the bus?
Yes, you can.
Can Love I use it.
$1 instead of the token transit app?
Yes, you can.
Can I use the token transit app to pay for the fare?
Yes, you can.
Whoop, whoop. Yay! All right, everybody.
There
There's
we
no,
go.
No better way to end the show. No better way to end the year than saying, yes, you can.
Yes, you can, everybody.
All right. Have a great
All right.
end of the year, and we'll
Yes.
see you again next year.